What's going on, guys? It's EternityDMR here, and I'm finally back with some more Photoshop tutorials. So, as you know, you might not know, I'm a sports designer on Instagram and Behance and some other social media. It's like Twitter. I'm just a sports designer in general. I do some designing on other things unrelated to sports, but for the most part, I stick with sports. So, but with my tutorials, you can apply them to anything. You don't just have to, do it on sports. So basically what today's tutorial will be on is lighting. So a lot of people have questions about lighting, and it may be sort of a challenge to get started to understand it, but once you get the hang of it, it's actually pretty simple. So basically I have all these are just the amount of layers that it's a very small amount of layers it takes just to make a simple lighting design, and it looks clean too, but there's all sorts of kinds of lighting. I may make a few tutorials on different styles of lighting, but today's tutorial is a style of lighting that I actually learned on. This is my first, surprisingly, this is actually my first. This is the PSD that I used for my very first lighting design itself. I mean, I made a few before, but they weren't good, so I just consider this my first one. It's like my first good one. So if I actually unhide, or okay, let me do this. So I'm gonna put this in a folder so I can just show you better. Kevin Durant. Okay, I'm gonna that. Alright, so we have that, and then here's how it looks with the lighting on. Oops. This is with the lighting on. So as you can see, it turns this into that, and it looks really clean, and it looks incredible for a first, just normal, just simple style of lighting. Surprisingly, it's simple. So just going through the different layers, we have this. I called it candlelight, but it's actually it's a color lookup. So if you want to do this part, so you can see there's a little bit of a difference, actually a lot of big difference. But to use the color lookups, you do need to have Photoshop CS6 or CC, one of those, or just anything higher than CS5. You can't have CS5 or lower, because it doesn't have the color lookup, which is right here in the adjustment layers. And so yeah, that's pretty big. I mean, it still looks okay, I guess, but basically this right here is the main layer that you're going to be using to actually get the lighting how you want it. So basically, yeah, I mean, this is an old PSD, so I would use a mask. I wouldn't be just doing a layer, most likely, but yeah, so I'm just going to go through and then I'll actually show you how to do it. So this right here is the main layer. So basically the idea is, if I take this, so if I go through, let me turn this on. So if I were to put this black, you can see it's making it darker in that area. So you actually have the opacity down. I have it at 75%. If I were to put it to 25, you can see it, depending on what the opacity is, makes the lighting effect stronger. If I put it to 100%, that's what it would look like. I just keep it at 75. But basically, depending on what you do, if you do black, it's darkening it, basically the shadows. If you do white, it's the highlights, so you can see it's going to lighten it up. So basically what I did was I darkened everything and then lightened up through here. But you want to make sure you use a soft brush, because if you use a hard edge brush, it's going to give you hard edges, which isn't realistic for lighting. Okay, so basically I will actually show you how to do this yourself, and then here's just some gradient maps that do make a big difference as well. Okay, so here we go. So what I did was I actually set it up so that I would just double click this to change the player out easier. It's just a smart object. So basically what you're going to want to do is go onto Google, and the nice thing about lighting, well, at least this kind of lighting, is you don't need a mask at all. So let's just search a player. So I'm going to search Let's see. Marcus Mariota just got drafted. Let's do that. Alright. So images. And then what you're going to want to do is you want to go to search tools, and I usually go about 4 megapixels and higher. So we can find the good one. Usually for lighting you want to get kind of a close-up. So I'm going to do this one right here because you can see his face. Alright, so just wait for the load. There we go. So I'm going to copy it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to double click this and put it in there. So you want to adjust it however you want it. Oh, this fits perfectly. Okay, perfect. So put it in. And so basically what we're going to do is we are going to start off, usually what I do is I start off by making a new layer. So you're going to go to layer, then new, layer. And this will basically be the lighting itself. So I'm just going to call it lighting. Alright, so what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to use your brushes. So you're going to want to have a black and white. So wherever you want the, so I'm going to set it to, I think, okay, yeah, we do want to start, my words are all jumbled right now. Okay, so first what you want to do is you want to kind of just put the lighting how you want it, so wherever you want it to come from. I don't know why it's making that sound. Okay, so you're going to want to get your soft brush. And so if I want the lighting to come from up here, maybe, so I'm going to have probably shadows down here going around, probably like somewhat like that. Nah, I don't want it on the top of his head. Oops. Probably something like that. And then I'm going to take a white brush and put it about right this. And this will be how the lighting will come in, basically. So, and then what you want to do is you want to go to the lighting layer, change the blending options, and change it to overlay. And you can see, if I turn this off, you can see it changes the lighting. And then you can adjust the opacity. I should do about 75. So that's going to do that. And so what we can actually do, I'm going to make it so it's like going, once it hits the player, it actually doesn't go behind him, so it's more realistic. There you go. Something like that. I think that looks pretty good. Alright, so now what we can do is, let's see. Okay. So now we're going to actually add our gradient maps. So you're going to go to layer and then adjustment layers. I'm sorry I didn't show you that, but layers, a new adjustment layer, and then go to gradient map. And I usually start off first with the black and white, and then you just to mess with that, just change the opacity because it'll just kind of, you know, saturate it a little bit, desaturate it, my bad. So you can see it just gives it a nice cleaner look, maybe 35. There you go. Actually, now let's go 30. Okay, and then we're going to do another adjustment layer. And go to gradient map. I usually do about 3 different ones. This one I'm going to do this color right here. And I'm going to bring that to about 15 or 25. And I don't believe... Okay, yeah, some of them... I'm not trying to completely... Okay. Yeah. Alright, so for the black and white one, what we're going to do is we're going to put it on multiply, kind of darken it up more. This one we're going to put it on screen, lightens it up a little bit, but it kind of gives it that like orangish, purplish tint. But actually I think we want it on soft light. Yeah, we want it on soft light. And then we're going to do another one. And then we're going to put this one, we can adjust it. So I'm going to put probably more of like the organ duck green kind of look, maybe like that. I don't know exactly I don't know the exact color. Yeah, it's kind of, I guess. But we're going to put it on screen and put that on like 25. Maybe nah, let's put it on like 10. So it kind of gives it that greenish tint. I think maybe like 5. Don't want it too much green. There you go. Just kind of gives that cool little tint. And so basically what we also want to do is above the player layer. Now this, obviously you can only do this if you have CS6 or above, so we're going to go to a new adjustment layer, and we're going to go to color lookup, and you can go through right here. There's like 3 different ones, but what I usually use is candlelight. You can see it gives it that effect, and you can just mess with the opacity. 50 gives it like that. Maybe 75. See, like 75. That looks pretty good. And then, so now we have that one. You can just adjust it however you want. I mean, you can go through and look at the other ones. There's like drop the blues, you can get like fall colors, tension green. Oh, that actually looks pretty sick. Gives it that, since it's a green, it makes it more green. So let's put like 50. I'm gonna use that, the tension green. That looks good. And so now, once you're done with that, you're gonna go above the lighting, go to new layer, new fill layer, go to solid color, make it all black. And here's where you can just make it darker. So if you go to about 50, it's gonna go like that. So you want to go really lower, maybe 15, just to make it darker. I'm gonna probably go like, I don't even know if I really need it at all on this particular design, but maybe like 5, just kind of doesn't make it too bright. So basically, this is the basic of just, you can see that's what that does. Okay, so let's actually compare it. So that's how much lighting I put on that one. This is what I have on this. So yeah, that's basically it. I mean, I'm pretty sure this is all the same. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So you can apply this to any person or anything. You can do it to anything. Now, you want to keep in mind, you want to look for the close-ups like I was saying before. This one actually would be a really good one to use right here, because he's kind of like backed up a little bit, and so if I were to actually, let's see, I think if I were to apply it to this one right here, this might actually look pretty good. Oops. Copy image, paste. Okay. So it's there. Yeah, okay. Let's go whiten this up right here. I mean, doesn't look too bad. I don't know. So yeah, you just kind of got to mess around with it, but that's basically the basic idea of how a simple lighting works. I hope you guys followed along. I hope I didn't like go too crazy with it. But yeah, I hope you got a pretty good understanding of how you can make a simple lighting design, and you know, maybe you can go ahead and start making some and posting them. So yeah, guys, give me a follow on Instagram at DMR Visuals. Subscribe and like this video. Subscribe to my channel and like this video if you enjoyed it or it helped you out. If you have any questions, just want to leave some feedback, just leave a comment down below. I will be starting to post tutorials more. And also, if you are an editor or designer or vector artist or illustrator or jersey swapper or whatever, anything that has to do with sports, why don't you go ahead and go follow Super Editing League. It's a editing league that I run, and it's really, really good. We started in about March, and it's just taken off. It's probably, a lot of people say it's the best editing league on Instagram, but it's just a lot of fun. And so if you want to get into it, you can go ahead and go there, because you can apply to the Season 2 draft now. It's going to be sometime in July or June, end of June maybe. I don't know the exact date. But yeah, so go ahead and go over there. And also, you can go to the website at supereditingleague.x10host.com. But that's also an Instagram page. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So I will see you guys next time on my next tutorial or video. It might not be a tutorial. But yeah,